On the news tonight, President Muhammadu Buhari felicitates with Muslims as Ramadan fast come to an end. In business, Nigeria foreign reserves hit $203.2 million in 6 days. On the foreign scene, United States announces 25% tariff on Chinese goods over unfair trade practices. Hello there, and many thanks for joining us on Superscreen Flagship News, broadcasting to you live from Lagos, Southwest Nigeria. I am Adinike Oweye Ajiboye. President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated Muslims on the conclusion of the Ramadan fast. It is a message to mark the end of the Ramadan fasting period. The president stressed the importance of putting the virtues of Islam into practice beyond the fasting season. He urged the Muslims to reflect on the importance of Ramadan and becoming good ambassadors of Islam at all times. According to the president, religion should be the moral compass for all believers in their public and personal lives, adding that if people allow the teachings of the religions to influence their conduct, problems such as corruption, which diverts public funds to private pockets, would have been eliminated in the society. And our Muslims and all citizens of Nigeria have been urged to fully imbibe the virtues of Idul Fitri. Clerics made the appeal in a message to Muslims present at the praying ground of An-Nur Mosque in Abuja to celebrate Salah. The period, according to them, has provided Muslims with a standard to evaluate themselves with total recompense and chart a new beginning to making lives better. The clerics also urged political leaders at all levels to cease from all discriminatory practices on the basis of religious, political, or ethnic differences.
Unite the nation, regardless of personal interest, regardless of party interest. Let us have the love of this nation at heart, and whatever thing we do, let us remember that we shall all account before our Creator one day, and in some ways. The main focus is not really on who is who, but the main focus in what we are able to do to live for posterity. Because like we always remind the politicians, we did not just inherit this nation from our ancestors, we actually borrowed it from our children. Let us all be responsible custodians, regardless of our political affiliation. The main message of this year's Ramadan is for us to continue to pray for our dear nation, Nigeria, and to imbibe the spirit of Ramadan. What is the spirit of Ramadan? The spirit of sharing, the spirit of giving, the spirit of caring, and the spirit of keeping away from corruption, from whatever thing can be detrimental of goodness and of greatness and of blessings for our great nation, Nigeria. So our message is...
Muslims were also encouraged to promote the tenets of Islam by showing love and care to Muslims and non-Muslims.
The youth are the future of any nation, of any nation, and even in the Deen in Islam, we learn about the impact the youth made in transforming or changing the lives of so many, and also bringing the religion to the doorsteps of so many. My first call to all of our youth: let us wake up, let us seek for knowledge, let us be sincere, and let us be upright. Let us make sure that we are trained, or we are prepared enough for leadership when it arrives, for us to actually hold on to leadership with justice, with sincerity, and with favor. Unlike of unity, and let them not use cheap points in order to score points. Let them not use religion as a means of causing disunity amongst the people. It is important that we understand the nature of our country. We are a multi-religious, right? And the main faith are Islam and Christianity. So let us make sure we don't cause any religious divide, all because we want to score cheap political points. Whoever is righteous, and whoever is upright, and whoever deserves to be a leader, Allah will make it possible.
They also called for unity and commitment by all stakeholders towards equitable social amenities across the country. And now from Abuja to Lagos now, Muslims in Nigeria have joined the rest of the world to celebrate the 2018 Idul Fitri. Prayers were held at the Istijabat Central Mosque in Orile, Igomu, Lagos State. Correspondent Olamide Onka now reports.
As Muslim faithfuls gather in their number to celebrate the Idul Fitri with a prayer session, they were full of joy that the 2018 Ramadan fast has finally come to an end. The prayer session, which marks the conclusion to the 29 days fasting, which started on the 17th of May, began with a lecture taken by senior cleric at the Istijabat Central Mosque in Orile Igomu, preaching oneness and love amongst Muslim and non-Muslims as others call for sustenance of unity in Nigeria. But of what significance is the Idul Fitri in the life of a Muslim?
As you can see, Muslims are coming from different locations to come and observe their Eid. So which today marks the end of the 29 days of fasting for Muslims. So today is not just a merriment for Muslims. Today is a kind of special day to Muslims throughout the whole world. We are here to celebrate the importance and the benefits of the 29 days. So you can see today is very important to Muslims throughout in the whole globe. Islam being a religion of a peace. So it doesn't mean that you're a member of a particular mosque before you join them in praying. Since there is no a kind of ticket they will issue before you pray. So whenever you saw a Muslim praying, so you are allowed to join them.
Ahead of the 2019 general elections, they urge Nigerians to express their rights as citizens by voting.
We need to supplicate Almighty Allah to make it a free and fair one. And we pray for a better Nigeria in the future. And to our president and other parastatals that are within Nigeria and everywhere, we pray Almighty Allah to strengthen them and be with them all.
In spite of the religious differences, it is hoped that the end of the fast signifies the start of better things to come for the country.
And away from that, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has decried what it called uncontrolled bias of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, in its execution of anti-corruption war in the country. The party's national chairman, Uche Secondus, disclosed this in a statement issued by his media advisor, Ike Abonye, on Thursday. Secondus said the recent arrest and harassment of contractors handling projects in only PDP state had clearly exposed ESSC as doing the bidding of the ruling party ahead of 2019. He also said the agency has employed its operatives to intimidate and harass contractors handling projects in some PDP-controlled states with the motive of frustrating the project goals. According to him, the projects have visibly placed the states far ahead of their colleagues in the ruling party states. The United States of America, USA, says the world is looking forward to the July 14 Ekiti governorship election. The Consul General, John Bray, disclosed this during a meeting with the Ekiti State Council of Traditional Rulers held in the Palace of Ewi of Ado-Ekiti, Oba Rufus Adejugbe. Bray said the U.S. is committed to peace before, during, and after the election. He also said the U.S. is ready to support free, fair, and credible election, adding that the eyes of the world will be on Ekiti on July 14. Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has called on the new leadership of the All Progressives Congress (APC) in the state to ensure the party's victory in the 2019 general elections. The governor, who discussed this during the inauguration of the State Executive Committee members held at the APC Secretariat in the state capital, asked all members to work in unity ahead of the elections. He also said those who joined the party in 2014 and thought they could use the position to cause disunity and pursue their personal interests have been shown the way out in order to allow the wish of the members to prevail. If you've just joined us, watching Superscreen's flagship news, coming up in business. Nigeria foreign reserves hit $203.2 million in 6 days. Join us for details of these and more after this time out. Many thanks to stay with us. Now in the business world. Latest data from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, shows that the nation's foreign exchange reserves has increased by $203.2 million in just 6 days. The reserves, which stood at 47,425 billion naira, rose to $47.627 billion after increasing from the first time in more than 2 weeks on June 8. Head of Research FSDH Merchant Bank, Ayodele Akiumi, who discussed this, said the pressure on demand from foreign investors is mainly responsible for the low growth in the external reserves. The Nigerian Senate has demanded the full audit of the 16 billion naira engineer oil field variation, which was launched in 2013 with a target to commence operation in 2018. Chairman of its Committee on Local Content, Senator Solomon Adeola, made the demands on Thursday at the National Assembly complex in Abuja. The report.
Pressing contractors handling engineer oil field contract and NNPC representative at the National Assembly complex in Abuja. Chairman of the Senate Committee on Local Content, Senator Solomon Adeola, demanded full audit of $16 billion approved for the oil project. The chairman had in its earlier report noted that at inception, the report was estimated to cost $16 billion and had undergone several cost variations, with the first being $13.352 billion and currently at $16.352 billion, without proper record of how the huge sum had been spent.
There is need for us to carry out further investigation on the general oil field project, which we have tagged the value for money on it. And the Senate have decided to fund that transaction by paying the consultant that will embark on this journey.
Reacting, other members of the committee emphasized the need for value for money audit as the contractors also react.
To make it much more efficient for Nigerians at a time like this, so that we can actually have not just value for money, but we can engage in more projects of this nature at a cost that will be beneficial to not just Nigerians, but also beneficial to the contractors. But if it is convoluted, automatically it will not be in the interest of any of the parties. And the Senate has further directed that in view of the fact that a lot of things are still shrouded in mystery, and there will not be total sincerity on the part of the contractors and subcontractors, so they need to unveil the veil of what we may call cooperation.
Samsung that came into this country without documentation, proper documentation, is a serious infraction on this country and the local content act which we have in place. That act should not be circumvented by any means whatsoever. And we're not happy about that. That is a serious issue.
I'm going to stay very short. Wanted to note that you mentioned, the distinguished chairman, that the regional project was launched with an initial budget of $16.353 billion. On that, to date, approximately $20 billion has been spent. Below $12 billion, I think that's not the exact figure. We are not going to go necessarily to the 16.34 precisely, because the objective is to finish within budget, which means either at budget or below. The objective is to be below. For the last 6 months, we have always come here, we have always responded to your questions. So for me, I take that for granted. So I'm saying, in view of all these corporations that we have had and all that, I'm just wondering, and maybe I'm being too loud about it, I'm just wondering how and where we're headed, and also that wherever we're headed, I just hope that things will be very objective.
What is left is how the demand of the Senate would be met.
The federal government has been urged to hasten the structuring of the national career. Stakeholders in the aviation industry made the appeal at the Aviation Roundtable quarterly meeting held in Lagos. Correspondent Anthony Osaibovo tells us more in this report.
Evaluating safety and security performances of aviation agencies in the last 4 years was the crux of discussion at the Aviation Roundtable meeting in Lagos. These stakeholders also made a review on Key Performance Index (KPI) in the sector, the Nigerian airlines and safety measures put in place to curb insecurity.
What we just done this morning is to reflect in the last 3 years the aviation sector, not only the airports, the airlines and regulation. We're looking forward to a very strong airline that will be the pride of Nigeria. And the home is going to be our airport. What is the size of the apron in our premier airport like? I want to recognize the airline as a flag carrier, because I know one airline is not enough for Nigeria.
At the airports, all of our major airports, especially the international airports, we have the Joint Military Task Force, and they're helping us to check all of this. You know, the recent incidents in Port Harcourt, I'm sure that's what you want to refer to. You know, it's been handled at the highest level, and I can assure you the fund is working hard that such things do not happen again in our airports. I want to appeal to our passengers to please be patient. You know, the MC in the program inside said life happens. So let's not be in a hurry. If there's a situation and an airline apologizes, you know, because there's a delay, let's please, you know, be patient with these airlines. It's for our safety and it is for our comfort.
Reacting to the promise by the federal government to set up a national carrier, the acting general manager of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, Sam Adurugbe, said the process has been set in motion with possibility that it will kick off by December 2018.
Yes, it is feasible because in our regulation to have an AOC, is airline operating certificate, is 90 days. Once you can fulfill the requirement, that is feasible from our own perspective. in the last 1 year, no accidents, zero, of course 3 years running. It doesn't mean that there are no incidents, there are occurrences, but we're talking about accident with fatalities is zero. So that is the essence of our existence, having safe operation. But of course, we talk about increase in passenger movement. That is what we have, facts and figures. We have increase in aircraft movement, we have increase in passenger movement, we equally have increase in number of personnel being employed in the industry.
We should be able to have an airline that oversees to the interest of all Nigerians. I believe that with the introduction of the national carrier, there should be an improvement in that regard, because the government needs to give relevant support to the domestic carrier, e.g. by making the environment a conducive one for them to operate and not just treat it like any other sector.
If the civil aviation sector is a critical element in Nigeria's transportation system, expectations are high that the federal government will invest in this sector to aid economic growth. Anthony Osaibovo, Superscreen News.
You're still watching Superscreen News at 8, still ahead on the news. United States announces 25% tariff on Chinese goods over unfair trade practices. Details of these and more come up shortly. Well, it's so glad to have you back. United States of America has announced a 25% tariff on